English Olympic swimmer Stephanie Proud visited the UAE to coach a swimming masterclass held at the Talise Fitness Center in Madinat Jumeirah. We caught up with the former Olympian to know what keeps her busy these days.
I started swimming when I was about 4 or 5, and then ended up doing kind of the local gala competitive stuff, and that kind of naturally progressed to me making the junior British team when I was as a teenager, and then eventually I took a scholarship to the University of Florida when I was 18, and then I swam there for 4 years, and then I stayed there to train for the Olympic Games. So I made the 2012 Olympic Games for Great Britain, where I competed and I came 9th. I think I naturally took to the water at a young age, and then it was something I was never forced to do it. It was something I loved, and I seemed to have a real gift at it. I did other sports as well, which I think is always good to kind of try everything when you're young. I did tennis, I did cross country, things like that, but in the end it was swimming that I was naturally good at. It was actually my 3rd Olympic trials when I qualified for my 1st Olympic Games, so it was a real long process to get there. It was tough. I had a lot of ups and downs, but eventually I qualified for the 2012 Olympics, and I was one of those lucky few that could swim a home Olympics. You know, it was in the country I grew up. I had the home crowd behind me, kind of get to do the whole Olympic Village experience, and I went and I competed really well. I missed the final by a very small amount, but it's one of those things. I did swim really well, and I loved every minute of my Olympic experience. It's indescribable. It's like you're part of this really small community, and you're always going to be an Olympian. You're never a former Olympian. You're always going to be part of that Olympic community. So no matter where you go, people are really interested in it. You know, no matter if you're into sport or not, the fact that you are an Olympian like grabs people's attention. I think swimming teaches you a lot of things. It teaches you teamwork, it teaches you time management. You have all these kind of skills that people who didn't do competitive sport don't have. And then I have it kind of backed up with the degree that I was able to get through swimming, really, because I had the scholarship to go and get the degree as well. It took me 3 Olympic trials to make the team. I think a lot of people would have stopped before then, but I kept going because it was important to me to reach that goal. My fitness routine, I've actually got a little bit back into swimming over the last few months, not competitively, but I work with a really good masters group where I live. I go about 3 times a week for an hour. I think it's interesting transitioning between being a competitive swimmer to being kind of your everyday fitness. I used to I used to train for about 5 hours a day, and now you can't do that with a job. So I think you've got to transition, think, well, I'm going to work out for an hour today. What do I want to get out of it? So I go swimming about 3 times a week, and because I travel so much, I try and keep it walking. I prefer like hiking and things like that to running, so I try and do that where I go. Kind of transitioning from being that competitive, oh, I need this amount of calories a day, to oh, I don't quite need to eat that much food, so I try and eat less of like the starchy carb stuff. I mean, I think I have a pretty well-balanced diet, lots of fruit and vegetables, things like that. I think setting yourself goals is really important, whether it's I'm going to swim 1,000 meters twice a week, and then kind of extending that, I'm going to swim 2,000 meters twice a week, or I'm going to enter a small triathlon or things like that, which I think is really good to set yourself goals to aspire to.